Hello and welcome to the United Stand. This is your Manchester United transfer news daily where we discuss all the latest Manchester United transfer news and give it that real fan opinion. So what have we got to talk about today? You can see the names below me, but I've also got the old Eric Bailly left field signing, and it's a very interesting one today, which I'm sure is going to divide opinion. The name is not below. You'll have to stay tuned for that one. But let's start off. David De Gea. There was a couple of things yesterday, to be honest. The Sky Bet and everybody are saying he's odds on to go to Real Madrid, very short odds. Some other outlet, not that credible, was saying that Real Madrid's players in the dressing room were already talking about De Gea coming. But the most telling and credible comment yesterday, in my mind, was probably the most incredible. And that was from Jose Mourinho in his post-match press conference for the Southampton dull draw. Ironically, Romero man of the match. He said that the next time Manchester United fans will see David De Gea in goal for Manchester United will be the pre-season friendly against LA Galaxy in July in America. Does my face tell the story? I mean, I think he also said he's the best goalkeeper in the world and we want to keep the best, or something along those lines. He's the best and we want to keep the best. Which again flies in the face of if he's the best, why aren't you playing him in the biggest game we've had in years on Wednesday night? I think Romero is a very good goalkeeper, but when you've got the best, you play the best. I still and will not understand that mentality because it can only be sentiment and there's no room for sentiment in football. Play the best. It's encouraging if you're one of them people who thinks De Gea is going. My thought is that this is just tactical. I think it's all about why I didn't play him and give him an opportunity to say goodbye to Manchester United fans. He should be playing on Sunday because, for me, he's leaving Manchester United. And that comment by Mourinho doesn't change my mind. I think we're going to see a bit of a media circus, and I think Mourinho is basically forcing De Gea to force the move when he already knows that De Gea wants to move. It's tactical by Mourinho, potentially. I'll be ecstatic if it's true, and I understand exactly why many of you think it would be true, but I just can't see it. From what we've been hearing, from the way things are going, I just 100% think he's going to go to Real Madrid. I don't want him to go. I love David De Gea. I think he's the best goalkeeper in the world. I want him to stay at Manchester United. But if he does go, I'm not calling him a snake or anything like that because he's been fantastic for us over the years. He is a United great. He's been through the worst years we've had in the last 3 decades, and he's been our player of the year. He's been totally focused, a model professional. Obviously, he wanted to go a couple of years ago. He didn't, and he got his head back very, very quickly and started playing in goal for us when others, I think, would have been, downing tools. So I think he's been an incredible player for us. And if he wants to go back to Spain because that's where he's from, and that's where he wants to build a family, then I don't begrudge him for that. He's not English. He's not from Manchester. He's no affiliation to Manchester United other than the loyalty and the fact that he's become a great with us. I don't like it, but I would accept it. And I think Sunday really should be his swan song game because I do think he'll go. But fingers crossed I'll be wrong on that. Talking about Real Madrid, let's do Embalo next because you're probably thinking who Embalo is, and he's not the Eric Bailly player I'm going to talk about today. Embalo, his name is, I've wrote it down, Amaro Embalo. He's 16 years of age at Benfica. And he hasn't played a senior game for Benfica. However, Manchester United are willing to pay £5.1 million for this lad. He is a winger, and he is touted to be the best Portuguese player, young talent at the moment, and the best Portuguese player over the next few years. Obviously, Ronaldo will need to retire for that to happen, but he's highly sought after, and highly thought of. I'll get it right. So very much so if Manchester United want to pay £5.1 million for a 16-year-old who's not played any senior football yet. However, there is a touch, and it's from Real Madrid. There is a competition for this lad's signature, and Real Madrid are willing to pay £6.9 million for him. Now, come to Manchester United, lad. If you're good enough, come to Manchester United. And realistically, I know football doesn't work like this anymore, but if you are a young Portuguese winger who's touted as being one of the best young up-and-coming talents and could be one of the world's best players in a few years' time, then what you should look at is 2 things. One, there was a certain Portuguese player who came to Manchester United and became the best player in the world. And 2, there's a certain player, Odegaard, who went to Real Madrid and he's now on loan and underperforming and was going to be one of the best players in the world. So for me, Manchester United is the best place for him to come, but worth mentioning, worth keeping an eye on. Obviously, he's a winger, very skillful, very talented. I've not seen him play. I'm only talking on reports here. He hasn't played any senior games, but obviously he's a big talent at that money. So keep an eye on that. I think the young players that we signed, like Tahith Chong that we signed from Ajax, Fosu Mensah, we signed him as a young lad, Pereira as well. These are interesting signings, and especially when they're touted as much as that. So very interested in that. Let's bring it a little bit back to the local. Michael Keane, obviously he's been mentioned quite a bit as a link to Manchester United. Reported in the BBC yesterday. Sky Sports breaking news again, but until they get something right, I'm going to have to just sort of say I don't really hold much sway with them at the moment. But the BBC, I think they are very credible and tend to get things right. And they're saying that Michael Keane to Manchester United for £25 million is looking highly likely. I've got my reservations about this. I've got to be totally honest. I said it on the watch along last night, didn't I? That look, Manchester United definitely need a centre back. Michael Keane, 6'3", just turned 23. I've wrote that down somewhere. Where did I write it? I always say 23. Michael Keane. I haven't wrote it down. That's disappointing. I thought I had. He's either just 23 or just turned 24. Absolutely 6'3", good in the air, can bring the ball out the back. He's a sound centre-back. He is a sound Premier League proven centre-back. But I don't think there's much difference between him and Chris Smalling. Now, I don't want to get into that debate because it's not relevant. My point is, we need a centre-back, but we need our new centre-back to play with Eric Bailly and either be as good as him or better than him. Now, if I'm talking about Michael Keane and Chris Smalling in the same conversation, whether you think one's better or not, that's not the calibre we need to play with Eric Bailly. We need a top class centre-back, verging on world class, to play with Eric Bailly, because we need to be strong down that middle and they need to be good in the air. I don't think Michael Keane's that sort of centre-back. I think Michael Keane's sort of your third or fourth backup centre-back, and if that's the case and we're getting rid of Jones and Smalling, fine. But as a first choice centre-back to play with Eric Bailly, I don't see a massive difference between what we've already got. And for £25 million, it's way. I mean, we sold this lad for £2 million 2.5 years ago. It's embarrassing, you know. And another good point from the watch along last night. Somebody said, if we sign Michael Keane back, we've spent £100 million over the last couple of years on players that were in our youth setup to bring them back. That is embarrassing. And I think Michael Keane at £25 million to come back to United would be way overpriced. He's got 1 year left on his contract. We've got a 25% sell-on clause to anyone he gets sold to. So if they sold him to Everton, we'd get 5 and Burnley would get 15. So to be honest, 1 year left on his contract, 25% sell-on clause. We shouldn't be spending any more than 15 million on him. Why are we spending 25? It's way overpriced, and the circumstances are in our favour. If we get him for 15 million and we get rid of Jones, then and he's a replacement for Jones, and we get a top quality centre back, fine. But as the answer to our centre back problems, I've seen a bit of Michael Keane this year, and he doesn't strike me as a very obvious top 4 centre back, and we definitely need somebody like that. So that's my thoughts on that. The Eric Bailly one I want to talk about. That sort of signing that we haven't really been that linked with, that's a bit unfashionable or nobody's really heard of them. Ross Barkley. I can hear the screams from here. I know a lot of people don't like Ross Barkley and wouldn't want him at Manchester United, but there's a couple of things again I would say about this. Mourinho was really interested in Ross Barkley when he burst on the scene and Mourinho was at Chelsea, as was I. I think he's exactly the sort of player that Manchester United need in their midfield. He is very tenacious. He's quick on the ball. He's quick around the pitch. He likes to tackle. He's got a good bit of play about him. He can run with the ball. And creativity, he's quite good as well. I mean, I've seen him put some cracking crosses in for Romelu Lukaku this year. The one big flaw to Ross Barkley's game is consistency and decision-making, both of which Mourinho is a master at drawing out. I think under Mourinho, Ross Barkley could be one of the best midfielders in the Premier League and go on to be one of the best best midfielders in Europe. I really do believe in him that much. Whether this deal can be done or not very much depends on the appetite of Manchester United to have that deal done. Now, he was photographed yesterday in the new Everton kit, and a lot of Everton fans think that is confirmation that he'll be staying. Wayne Rooney's been photographed in our new kit. I'd be shocked if he stays, and many would say shocked or not, he has to go. He's just not good enough anymore. So does that mean Ross Barkley's staying? The interesting thing about Barkley is it's very similar to like Michael Keane and Alexis Sanchez, is that they are into their last year of their contract this summer. Their contract expires next summer. So he's pretty much going to be available for free. Not free, a lot cheaper than he would do. And Everton are pretty much powerless unless he signs a new contract. Ross Barkley, for £25 million, he's only just turned 23. I think people think he's older than he is. He's just turned 23, which means he's got a couple of years of development before he goes into his prime. Then a couple of years development under Mourinho for a midfielder who is 6'2" as well. So he fits the sort of tall midfielder that Mourinho likes. He can run with the ball. He is creative. He is tenacious. He can put a tackle in. He's much quicker than a lot of our midfielders. And he's young. And he's English. I'm just putting it out there because to me, it ticks a hell of a lot of boxes. Now, do I think it will happen or not? Like many of these sort of Eric Bailly signings, they're unlikely, but I think there will be one or two of them. And to be honest, Ross Barkley under Mourinho, I think he would turn him from a 7/8 out of 10 player to a consistent 9. And I know a lot of you don't like him, but I have liked him for a long time, and I can see the potential there. So yeah, interested in that. Lots to talk about today then. De Gea, do you think he's staying, or do you believe Mourinho? Do you think we will be seeing him in the US tour? Or do you think, I mean, he might play in the US tour and then be sold in July. Remember, the La Liga doesn't go back till a little bit later, so there could well be truth in that. You just get sold after it. Have you ever thought that Mourinho might be being clever? I think he'll be going anyway. Michael Keane, what do you think about him? The young lad, Mbalo at Benfica, would you like him? And Ross Barkley. And anything else you want to talk about, let us know. But, I forgot to add a little bonus one as well. Marquinhos. Apparently PSG would be willing to sell him to us for £60 million. I think that's a little bit too much for him, to be honest. I'd go 40 to 50, but 60 million, yeah, he's 22, Brazilian. He's a good centre-back, but is he £60 million worth? That's a lot of money. That's when you start becoming Man City and he gets scrutinised for every mistake and his confidence gets knocked like John Stones. I think 40 to 50 million is a fair price. 60 million is a lot of money. But Marquinhos is the sort of centre-back. He's the perfect one to mention. I wish I'd mentioned it earlier. He's the perfect sort of centre-back for us to sign because he is top echelon, top class, can play in a top 4 side, and has got a lot to his game. I think if you put Marquinhos against Will Keane is my point. I've got nothing against Will Keane if he's coming in as our 3rd or 4th choice centre-back. But if he's coming in to be a 1st choice centre-back and you hold him up against Marquinhos, I'm sorry, it's like a heavyweight against a light middleweight. It's a mismatch. And we need to be looking for a heavyweight centre-back. Thanks everyone for watching. Remember, if you're enjoying the Transfer Daily, please do drop a like. We like to get 1,000 likes on these now because it is here to stay and we want you to encourage it. So drop a like on the video. Tonight on the United Stand, it's a bonus Skype Goldbridge, 8:30. No more Thursday night football. Woohoo! So we'll be live at 8:30. Skype Goldbridge. It's your show. Skype in. Have your say on anything you want to talk about. Looking forward to that. Otherwise, enjoy the rest of your day. Get commenting below on anything you want to discuss, anything on here or anything else in relation to transfers. And I'll see you tonight at 8:30. Thanks for watching.